Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Cold Hard Truth Podcast. I'm Anish Gupta, and today we're discussing another playoff matchup this week. Obviously, it's Super Wildcard Weekend. We're all pumped for it. It's between the Chicago Bears and the New Orleans Saints. Now, before I get into it, please leave a like and sub if you're new down below. It only takes a couple seconds of your time, and we'd really appreciate it. We have a goal to hit 400 subs by February, by the Super Bowl, so you guys have shown a lot of love, and we really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, with the Chicago Bears, let's talk about some of their strengths and weaknesses. Obviously, a hot offensive turnaround these last few weeks. They started off 5-1. People thought a little bit of a fake team, and they lose 6 straight, and then they kind of turn it around, win 3 of their last 4. Now, I think their strengths come with their quote-unquote big 3, with David Montgomery, Mitchell Trubisky, and Allen Robinson. Now, David Montgomery has really come alive these last few weeks, and honestly, he's had a great overall season. 7 touchdowns in his last 5 games and 1,500 all-purpose yards, and I think he's one of 5 running backs to do that. I think other notable names are Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, and so on. So, he's had a really great year, and I think he's really thrived with Mr. Trubisky, especially this back half of the season. And speaking of Mr. Trubisky, a lot of guys, in the NFL community have slandered him, and we all know about that 2017 draft with Patty Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. But hey, for the Bears, it's no question that their offense is better with Trubisky than with Foles. I've said this a couple times on the podcast. I've probably said it every week we talk about the Bears, but every game Trubisky started, they've had 300 plus yards of offense, and they've had 0 with Foles. And again, I go back to that worst offensive performance I've seen with the Bears against the Vikings. But I digress. And the third guy in this big 3, he's no sleeper. It's Allen Robinson, a guy who we've all prayed for better quarterback play. But hey, 1,250 yards, 6 touchdowns, one of the most consistent wide receivers in this game. And if you don't have him in your top 10 list, I will personally slap you. He has been great. And going to the defense, right? It's physical, it's hard hitting. It's generated at least 1 turnover in 5 straight games. And that one guy that can wreak havoc, in any given game. It's Khalil Mack. I've seen him go 5 sacks in a game against Denver. I've seen him absolutely tear up DeShone Kizer in prime time, so he knows how to get to the quarterback. Another guy who's been really underrated is Bilal Nichols. Obviously, I've been, made aware by the Bears community that he is a good nose tackle, really good against the run, and 5 sacks on the year. Don't sleep on him. I think you expect him to make a couple plays against the run against the Saints. And, they've got a pretty underrated secondary with Kyle Fuller, Jalen Johnson, Tashawn Gibson, and Eddie Jackson. We know about Bojack. Eddie Jackson has made a couple Pro Bowls. He's been pretty good. Kyle Fuller as well made a couple Pro Bowls. This year, not the best statistically, but he did only allow 55% completion percentage. And Jalen Johnson, second-round pick, who I actually was really high on coming in. I thought he should have gotten some Defensive Rookie of the Year votes in the first half of the season. Kind of staggered a little bit. He, got injured. But only allowed a 56% completion percentage as a rookie with 15 passes defended. Keep in mind, a rookie, and he didn't play the full season. I think he missed 3 games. He's questionable to play. I'm hoping Bears fans that he can. Obviously, I believe he had a limited practice, if I'm not mistaken, today. So let's go to their weaknesses. Despite me hyping up their offense a little bit, it's very inconsistent. A lot of these short passes, screens, and on third down, they're not really good. They were clearly outmatched by Green Bay. They got into the playoffs because of the Rams. John Wolford, Bears fans, you better follow that dude on his LinkedIn. But again, they were clearly outmatched. A lot of incompletions by Mitchell Trubisky. He needs to throw the ball better down the field more consistently. Again, scoring 36 points against the bad Texans defense and dropping a lot of points on the Jacksonville defense isn't going to convince me that you're going to beat the Saints. So you got to do it when it counts. And he did against Philadelphia 2 years ago. He got him in scoring position, and then we know what happened with Cody Parkey. But hey, another weakness, it's not really an overall thing, but no Roquan Smith for this game. He is the leader of this defense, and he receives the play calls in the helmet. He had 139 tackles, 4 sacks, 7 passes defended, and 3 forced turnovers. Now, if that is not Pro Bowl numbers, I don't know what is, and this dude got absolutely snubbed, and I better see him on an all-pro roster because I was really mad that he wasn't there. Roquan Smith is amazing, should have gotten his due, but he didn't. But he's not going to play this game, very unlikely, so I'm very nervous for Bears fans. Let's switch it over to the Saints now with their strengths and their weaknesses. Let's start off with Alvin freaking Kamara, a guy that, I drafted in 2017, my fantasy league. I took a chance on the dude, and he went crazy. I didn't expect this. But again, last time we saw him, 6 rushing touchdowns. Should have been 7 if it wasn't for Taysom Hill. But again, he's well rested too because he missed the final game. They didn't even need to play him. But hey, he's well rested now, and he's the ultimate threat out of the backfield. You know what you get with Alvin Kamara. Now we're going to get into another dude. In case you forgot, a former Buckeye, Michael Thomas. Now, don't call him Slant Boy, okay? He's still really good. He's well rested from that ankle. He purposely went on IR to get some rest, so he's going to finally be playing with Drew Brees again. And keep in mind, he's only played with Drew 2 games this year, and he still had two 100-yard games out of, I believe, the 4 games he played, 4 full games, and he had 84 yards against the Eagles. So, don't sleep on him. Don't act like, it was just a one-year wonder, because he has been consistently great in the games that he's played in, game for game since his career started. But again, yeah, the 2 games he played with Drew Brees were against the Bucs, so I'm excited for him to get back with Drew, and I'm sure they've developed the connection. They will develop it in practice. I think he returns to practice tomorrow. Now their defense, Trey Hendrickson has been a great player this season, 13.5 sacks with 1 forced fumble. He's been a big benefactor of Cam Jordan, who we all know and love, one of the big leaders on this defense. Marshawn Lattimore in a kind of prove-it year, I'd say, 52% completion percentage. You can put him on Allen Robinson. He loves playing against these, top-tier receivers, and he holds his own. Even though Allen Robinson is not named Mike Evans, so it's going to be a little bit harder, but hey, Lattimore, you got to step up. And Demario Davis, again, good veteran leader, 119 tackles. One of the best middle linebackers in the game. So, that's their strengths. Not much to say about their weaknesses. Again, Drew Brees' arm strength, I guess. But let's kind of move on to the keys of the game. So for Chicago, obviously it starts with slowing down Alvin Kamara. Yeah, if you can slow him down, if you slow down the running game, you can disrupt the passing game. Now, can you do it without Roquan Smith? Danny Trevathan, he's not really a 3-down linebacker anymore. He's getting old up in age. Can you really trust him to play 70 to 80% of the snaps? I don't know. So that's a little bit concerning, but hey, if you can slow down Kamara, you've got a good chance to win. Again, generate pass rush. Where have Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn been all year? I know I was hyping up Khalil Mack, but I really haven't heard from him since that Bucs game in primetime when he absolutely dominated against Tom Brady. But I haven't really heard from him, right? I mean, can you blame me? I mean, he's a superstar, and I haven't heard much about him this entire year. Thought he would be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. Hasn't been in it. And Robert Quinn, we've said this all year. I have especially. Where the hell have you been? I mean, you've been paid $14 million a season to get 2 sacks all year. Are you kidding me? Oh my, I mean, I feel bad for Bears fans. I mean, that is a terrible contract, and I don't think he's going to get any better. He's not getting any younger. And Leonard Floyd, the guy they let go, has flourished with LA, so that's tough. Now, another key to the game for the Bears is to play tight zone coverage. Now, they've played more man against the Saints last time they played because Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders weren't there. So they played man coverage on 47% of their defensive snaps. Now, you've got to trust your secondary here and play more zone coverage. Force Brees to use his arm strength and force him to throw in tight zones because, hey, that's when you can generate turnovers. And obviously, if you win the turnover battle, you can win the game. Last key for the Bears would be to win time of possession. You're playing against a really good offense. They know their stuff. Sean Payton is a really good play caller. They've got so many different weapons that can, drain clock. So you want to keep them off the field. You want to get the Saints defense tired, right? They've got a lot of veterans up there with Malcolm Jenkins. Cam Jordan's getting old. Mario Davis too. If you can slow them down and wear them out defensively, hey, maybe you've got a chance. You've got to win. I would aim for at least 35 to 36 minutes of time possession if you want to win this game. Now for New Orleans, get it to your playmakers. Just get it to Kamara and Thomas. If they're going to do their thing, just get it to them in the open field. They will make the plays necessary to bridge this gap in the game and make the plays and score to really widen, honestly, a disparity in overall rosters. Also, pressure Mitch Trubisky. He struggles against the blitz. He's very turnover prone. He's got a turnover in 3 straight games. And again, do you trust, like, if you were to get someone in Mitch Trubisky's face, do you really trust them to take that and still deliver the ball down the field? Yeah, I don't think so. Again, use the middle of the field for the Saints. No Roquan Smith, so I don't trust Danny Trevathan as much in coverage. This is not the 2015 Broncos, so you can get it to your playmakers there via slant routes. Shout out Slant Boy. and quick routes to Alvin Kamara out the backfield. I think that's going to work fine. You don't really need to use the deep passing game, but hey, you've got Emmanuel Sanders and Traquan Smith for that. Now, the third thing for the Saints, or I think the fourth thing, is to slow down Allen Robinson. Lattimore, you've got to step up, play in your own island because, again, you allowed 6 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown last time. Now, this game was very close with Nick Foles. It went to overtime, but the Saints pulled it out. And obviously, it's a different atmosphere. It's at New Orleans this time. The weather won't be a factor, and it won't help Chicago. So with my game pick, I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints. I think they're going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be that close in terms of yards. I think they're going to kind of win that game, win it like that. Not as much in points. I got the Saints winning 28, Bears getting 17. But, again, kudos to the Bears for getting here, but I just don't think this is the right matchup for you guys. So with that being said, that was my game pick for the New Orleans Saints and the Chicago Bears. Let me know what you guys think. Was there anything I missed? Anything that I should have added on for both of these teams? We're so excited to get you guys this playoff content. I am. Obviously, I've done with my college apps and all that, so I'm all in with this podcast, and I'm all in to get you guys as much content as possible. So again, if you could drop a sub, that'd be really appreciated. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.